Okay, in the past 30 days, me and one of my clients have been able to collect about 73 and $300,000 in just 30 days purely with organic content. So no paid ads, no Facebook ads, no YouTube ads, no Meta ads, no ads at all. It was just pure organic content. And as you can see here, I have some screenshots of all the payments that we received during this time frame. And as you can see here, we have a 2K, 6.5, 3,500, 2,500, 8,000. This was our biggest payment of the month. 4,000, 5,000, 2,500. And if you add all these up, they're gonna add up to about 34,000, and the rest of the payment came through WAP and fan bases. And this is all cash collected, by the way. It's not revenue, it's cash collected. So this is what we collected in 30 days. So my client doesn't want me to show her face on my YouTube channel. I signed an NDA, but still I'm gonna show you all the step-by-step process that I use to build these offers and make sure that we collect as much cash as possible. So make sure you stay tuned until the end because I'm gonna show you everything. So first of all, if you're new here, let me tell you who the fuck I am and why you should listen to me. My name is Alex. I've been in the copywriting and growth operating space for about 3 years now, and I've been able to make over $500,000 in the past year and a half. And I've been, you can see here a lot of screenshots of payments. These are some of the payments. And by the way, each of these payments, I'm taking 20%. This is the business model that I'm in. If you know, this is called growth operating. And I basically partner with creators and I help them launch and scale offers. And I take a percentage of the revenue. So every payment here, I take 20% of this payment. And yeah, this is what I do. And I've been able to make a lot of money doing this. And yeah, but it wasn't always like this. Just to give you a quick recap of who I am, the journey wasn't easy at all. I was a broke college student working shitty jobs, loading and unloading trucks. In this example, I worked as a waiter. I worked, delivering food. I did a lot of shit, and I was suspended in college because my GPA was too low. And it was a bunch of shit. But at the end of the day, I made it happen. And this is not to brag or to tell you my sad life story. Is just to tell you that I'm no different from you, and if I made it happen, you can make it happen as well. This is just to tell you that. So we're gonna move on to step one without wasting any more time. So step one, obviously, is always market research. Okay, market research is the most important part that you have to do and you have to nail every time you work on a new offer, because you need to know exactly the desires and goals of the market you're getting into, right? So this is how you do market research. First of all, there are different ways you can do market research, and one of them is to have the creator you're working with fill out a form where you ask all the questions you need to know about their audience. So you can ask questions like their age, average age of the audience, where they're from, their current situation, their goals, what they're struggling with, how much money they have, all this kind of stuff. Another way you can do market research is by analyzing previous sales calls of that creator, if they have previous sales calls. And if they don't, well, you cannot do that. But if they have, you can analyze and use AI. You can feed those sales calls to AI and find common patterns about the ICP, your ideal customer profile, or your dream customer. And you can find common patterns when it comes to objections, goals, how much money they're making, what are they struggling with, the biggest obstacle they're facing, and yeah, all this kind of stuff. So you can use the sales calls, feed them to AI, and find the common patterns that you're going to use in your copy when you're making your offer later. Another way you can do market research is by studying competitors. So you can find everyone in that same niche that have a similar offer to yours, and you can analyze what they're doing right, if they're killing it, if they're not killing it, if they're doing what they're doing wrong, what they could be doing better, what their audience says. You want to see the comments of that creator. You want to go under their YouTube videos or Instagram videos, see the comments, what the people are asking for, all this stuff. So analyze competitors' offers and see what they're doing, and you can kind of take what works best for them and make it your own, add it to your own offer, and so that you don't have to reinvent everything. You're just taking what works, making it unique, but adding your own personality and adding your own spin to it and make it different. So another way is to use AI to do your own market research. So you don't want to rely only on what the creator tells you about his audience. Obviously, they know their audience, probably, but you still want to do your own research and then implement your own research to what the creator has told you about their audience. So you want to kind of combine the two things together. That way you can actually get a good understanding of the ICP and the market and the desires and the outcomes that they want. Then another way that you can do market research is that by having the creator post a type form on social media for their audience to answer market research questions. And for example, you can ask the creator you're working with to create a type form. I mean, you can create a type form for them, and you can ask them to post that type form and to post something like, hey, I'm doing market research about this. Or actually, you can say something like, hey, I want to know my audience best. This is a type form that you guys can fill out. It's completely free. And on that type form, you can ask questions like, where you from? How old are you? How much money are you making? How much money would you like to make? What is your goal? What is your current situation? What is your current obstacle? What solutions have you tried before? Why do you think you're not having the success that you want? These kind of questions to better understand your audience. And then the final step is to integrate all this knowledge that you've accumulated into one final ICP document. So you want to use, the answers that the creators gave you in the form. You want to use the sales calls. You want to use the competitors' offers. You want to use your own AI research. You want to use the answers from the type form that the audience filled out. And once you combine all these things together, and it's gonna be pretty easy to make a killer offer, because at that point you basically know everything about your ICP. Like, you know them better than they know themselves. So it's gonna be pretty easy, and you can put all this knowledge into the final ICP document. And this is one document that I use, as you can see, and you can use the same. You can just copy it. On this document, I just write, the market core desires, based on all the research that I've done, market core desires, the market awareness, ICP age, ICP gender, income, habits, values, goals, challenges, objections, problems, why ICP can solve problem, ICP solutions they search for, why those solutions didn't work, language that ICP uses in connection to the problem. This is very specific. And if you fill this out properly, bro, it's gonna be easy. Like, you're not gonna have any problem selling anything, because you're gonna know everything about their audience, their pains. There's what they want, where they want to be, where they're at. You're gonna know everything, and you're gonna use all of that information to write copy. And you're gonna use that copy in your VSL, in your emails, in your landing page, and in your videos and everything else. So it's going to become 10 times easier to do everything else. So step 2 is to create the offer, right? Now we've done all the research. We know everything we need to know. We have this document filled out with everything we need to know about our ICP. So we can come up with the offer. And if you've done market research correctly, you should know your ICP like the back of your hand. You should know the ICP better than they know themselves, as I said. And you can use their current situation and desired outcome to bridge the gap with your offer. And basically all the offer is just bridging the gap. This is the current state where a customer is right now, and this is the future state where a customer wants to be. And the gap is the space between the customer current situation and future situation or future state. And the bridge is your offer. See, so the bridge is going to be the vehicle, or the thing that's going to help the customer get from point A to point B. And the offer has to provide a clear transformation, so from point A to point B. And this is an example. You will get 10 new high-ticket clients in the next 60 days without using paid ads, or will work for free until you do. And this is a clear offer because it provides a clear transformation. You're going to have 10 new high-paying clients, high-ticket clients in the next 60 days. And if you don't, we'll work for free until you do. And this provides a clear transformation and clearly shows the prospect how it's going to go from point A to point B. Now, additional things that you can add to make your offer even more irresistible. So you can add risk reversal. Like, for example, you get your money back if you don't get the results that we promised. You get your money back in 30 days. That's an example. Or you can add guarantees. Like, you get 10 new high ticket clients in 60 days guaranteed. Urgency is just like, this opportunity won't last forever. So you want to kind of create FOMO, so fear of missing out. So if you don't take this opportunity right now, you might lose this chance forever. And then we have scarcity, like for example, we only have 5 spots left. So join now if you don't want to miss out. And then social proof. And social proof is not just, testimonials, video testimonials, screenshots and stuff like that. Of course, that works, but it's also like research data, stuff like that. And then of course, you can use the Hormozy formula when it comes to the offer, and that is the dream outcome times the perceived likelihood of achievement divided by the time delay times the effort and sacrifice equals value. And what this means is basically that if you can make it as easy, as fast, and as effortless as possible for your prospect to reach that dream outcome, that dream state, you're gonna have a killer offer, and we know what Hormozy calls a grand slam offer. And so how do you increase the perceived likelihood of achievement, and how do you decrease the effort and sacrifice? So all these things up here, they have to go, they have to go up, so they have to increase, and all these things down here, they have to decrease in order to have a good offer. So the perceived likelihood of achievement, so that means that you gotta make your prospect understand that it's not that hard to get the desired outcome. It's not that hard, okay? If they think that it's not super hard, the perceived likelihood of achievement increases. So you can say things like, you only have to work, 2 hours a day, or you only have to, if you want to lose weight, you only have to walk for 30 minutes a day, something like that. And that also decreases the effort and sacrifice. That means that you don't have to spend a lot of time. For example, if you're trying to lose weight, you don't have to spend a lot of time at a gym, 2 or 3 hours at the gym. You don't have to you don't have to follow a super strict diet. You don't have to do a bunch of stuff that you don't want to do, and it makes it much easier. And also the time delay, how fast can you get to that dream desire? So obviously the faster the prospect can go from point A to point B, the better it is. And yeah, obviously you want to use all this stuff, but don't overdo it. Like for example, if I told you, oh, I'm gonna help you make 100K a month in the next 30 days without you having to post content, do anything, you can sit down on your couch, I'm gonna do everything for you. Obviously that's an amazing offer. That's an irresistible offer. It's a grand slam offer, obviously, but it's not realistic. So you have to make it realistic. So you have to find the right balance between what's realistic and what's not, and what can you actually deliver to these prospects or clients. So yeah, keep this in mind when you're making your offer. You can use all this stuff, all these additional things to make your offer more irresistible. And yeah, now let's move on to step 3, which is the content strategy. And when it comes to content, we were focused only on, not only, but for the major part on, YouTube and Instagram. And I'm going to start with YouTube. So we long form content. So you want to make video that directly target the ICB problems. And these are the titles that work best to attract clients, in my opinion, and what I found out worked the best. So the first type of title that works the best to attract customers is the outcome titles. So you're going to show them the results. So for example, something like, when you fix this, you'll double your closing rate. This is an example of an outcome because it shows that the outcome is closing it's doubling the closing rate, and all you have to do is fix this little thing. Obviously, this is just an example. You can make it better. And another type of title that works is the system method title. And in this title, you show the exact system. So an example is, this exact system helped me generate 30K a month with my coaching business. And another title that works is the story title. And so you can say what you've learned. So for example, this is what I've learned after making $1 million with online business. And you share your story and what you learned and what you overcame. So in your YouTube videos, you also want to add a soft CTA about 40% into the video. And depending on how long the video is, you can add another one at the end. Obviously, you don't want to overdo it. You don't want to have like 5 CTAs and the video is like 5 minutes long. That's too much. And obviously, you're going to stress your audience and they're not going to buy from you. So you want to do this, the smart way, and don't overdo it. And obviously you want to have all your links in the description. Okay, now let's move on to Instagram when it comes to what we're doing on Instagram. So on Instagram, you want to post mainly top of funnel and middle funnel content. The top of funnel content is the content that attracts more people and it brings eyeballs to your page and business. So it's the type of content that goes viral. It's not meant to educate. It's not meant to, teach something. It's just meant to go viral and attract as many eyeballs as possible. And that middle funnel content is the type of content that, where you share your story and you share the things that you learned and things that you overcame, and you kind of share your perspective and unique view on the world. And that's the type of content that makes people like you and builds a connection with your audience. And then obviously there's bottom of funnel content that is more specific to your ICP. That is, like, for example, if you're making if you're if you're selling a program on how to become a high ticket closer, the bottom of funnel content would be something like teaching people how to handle objections. Like, I covered this in one of my recent videos on YouTube, exposing the Shelby SAP funnel, and you can go watch that video if you're interested. But yeah, I go more in depth about top of funnel, middle funnel, and bottom of funnel content. But yeah, you want to post top of funnel content, middle funnel content, and some bottom of funnel content, but I did include it in here. Also, you want to have a clear bio and link to your landing page, obviously. And you want to use ManyChat to capture leads, and by getting people to comment or DM you a word. For example, if they DM you sales, they get a free training, or they get a free document, a free asset that they can use immediately. And yeah, this is basically what you want to do. And also, you want to use story sequences to build goodwill, show proof, and get people to click on your link. And this is an example of a story sequence that you can use. For example, you can have as the first story the hook, so something that grabs the attention, and then the second story is the story or value or pre-handling common objections and highlighting pain points. And then the third story could be highlighting the ICP, desired outcome. And fourth story is like social proof and testimonials, so you can show the results that other people have had in the program. And here you can have a soft CTA. And then last story, you can have CTA, and obviously you can create urgency and scarcity by saying, we have a few limited spots just for this period of time, so act now, and if you don't want to lose this opportunity. But only do it if it's real. Don't fake scarcity, don't fake urgency. Okay, now step 4 is the VSL and the emails. And the VSL, pretty easy. You have to create a landing page. On your landing page, obviously you want to have a headline, and you want to, in this case, I'm calling out my ICP, which are coaches and consultants for my agency. And the offer is, will help you scale your InfoBiz to 100K a month in 180 days with a dedicated growth infrastructure. Watch the video to learn more. And then there's the VSL. And then after that, there's the booking call form, the Calendly, so they can book a call. And the goal of the VSL is to educate, break beliefs, and show how you can help them achieve the desired state. Now, when it comes to emails, obviously you want to collect emails to nurture leads. So you can send, sequences, different sequences. You can handle common objections, break limiting beliefs, show proof and testimonials. And you need to create different email sequences for different leads. So for example, you can create a pre-call sequence, a call not booked sequence, a no-show sequence, a reminder sequence, a nurture sequence, recovery sequence. There are many different sequences that you can use. Obviously, it can be a little overwhelming at first if you're just starting out. And if you want more help and you want me to help you scale your info business, and you want me to implement all these systems, all the content strategy, all the automations, emails, VSL, landing page, and everything else, so you don't have to do anything, you only relax and you only create content, and I take care of everything else, we take care at my agency, then you can book a call with me. There's going to be a link in the description. But yeah, let's move on. Of course, step 5 is to create, connect everything and create the automations. In this case, we can use Zapier, or you can use softwares like N8N. So, yeah, you get it. And this is a simple, structure of an automation that you can build. For example, you can have a type form and then create a new lead in the CRM and divide them based on if they're qualified or non-qualified, and add them to different nurture sequences. I'm not going to go into much details on this because I've already explained it pretty in detail in another video, so you can go watch that. But yeah, you want to build automations that connect all your systems. And obviously you want to track data. Step 6 is tracking data. This is just it's just an example, so don't mind this example. But you want to track everything. You want to track all the data, all the leads, and this is the main data that you want to track: the number of leads, cash collected, the AOV, which is average order value, show up rate, close rate, no show, where the leads are coming from. So you want to know exactly where your leads are coming from, if they're coming from YouTube, Instagram, or any other platform, if they're coming from your emails. You want to know exactly where they're coming from, so you know where to double down. And this makes it easy to identify bottlenecks. So for example, let's say uh, you're getting leads, you're getting a lot of leads, but you're not getting a lot of cash collected. Maybe, I don't know, maybe your close rate is bad. Maybe you have to fix your close rate, or maybe you're getting a lot of leads but they're not showing up to the call, and maybe you need to fix your show up rate by adding reminder sequences and emails and text messages and a lot of all that stuff. So it's important that you track everything, and to make sure that you can scale your business properly, and you don't have to always be inside of your business trying to figure out everything. You want to create automations and create tracking sheets so that everything takes care of itself, and you don't have to do much. So yeah, this is it for this video. As I said, if you want my help, you can check the links in the description, and that's it. Hope you got some value, and I'll see you in the next one.